Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we start this episode off with some huge breaking news. We're going to get right into it, and it is 2311 Racing announces today that they will field a second full-time car next season with Derek Kraus behind the wheel, who currently drives the number 95 car this season, but he will now be driving the number 45 Ineos Toyota for that 2311 Racing team next season, as he will be Bubba Wallace's teammate for the season. And here is the paint scheme made by Lation. Great job as usual by him with this Ineos paint scheme. You see the affiliate sponsors like Dr. Pepper, McDonald's, Root Insurance, DoorDash all in the car as well, and I think it looks great. And let me know what you guys think. But Derek Kraus, it is official, he will be in the second 2311 car next season in the career mode. I've been waiting to put that one out. I've been excited. I've wanted to do that for quite some time, and finally now we get the opportunity to do that with Derek Kraus behind the wheel. I know with some of these fantasy driver roster changes I've done, a lot of people in the past have been like, oh, that's not realistic at all, and I'm sure that's going to be the comment on that one, but the goal here in this career mode is not to do changes that are necessarily realistic, so I definitely want to mess it up here and there, and of course with Kevin Harvick retiring, that gives us another opportunity to maybe throw a curveball at who replaces him here in the career mode now, as we were though underway here on the Xfinity side of things at Phoenix with Paul Menard behind the wheel and the LS Tractor 200 at Phoenix Raceway. Of course, we were just at Phoenix a little bit ago, a few episodes ago, for the championship race. Now, as Paul Menard was working his way back through the field here now, as he goes down into turns one, passing that 21 of Anthony Alfredo. But with his struggling so far, or his struggles in qualifying so far, it's definitely kind of put him behind when it comes to race day, and he's just been playing catch up this whole time. But he, sure enough, as this race went on, we come through now towards actually the end of this race. This is now on the final lap, and he was now just in the mix for the top 10 now as he came through out of turn 2 side by side with that 21 of Anthony Alfredo. Pushes him down the track a little bit there as they go down into turns 3, tries to pinch him down into the corner, but it's not going to quite work there as it came through out of turns 4. Alfredo is going to get Menard at the line as it comes through there to cross the line. The one car of Timmy Hill would come through to win, as Menard would have to settle in for P11 here, but Timmy Hill with the victory. I've still yet to fix the roster on the Xfinity side fully. I'm working on getting that fixed within the next episode or 2, because there's actually duplicates of both Landon Castle as well as Timmy Hill, but like I said, look to have that fixed within another episode or 2 as we come through now into the Cup Series side of things. For the first time this season, we will be running the NZXT paint scheme on the cars. You guys remember quite some time back now, Renato, my good friend, made that for us now for us to run here as we come through to start our qualifying lap with a goal of a 26.067 here. We were so close to winning this race last time out, and so close to winning the championship, as Martin Truex Jr. ended up going out a champion and retiring from full-time Cup Series competition. Now as we came through to qualify though with a 26.184 for the Fan Shield 500, and that would put us P13 here for the start of this race, as we'll check out the rest of the qualifying order on your screen. You see Kyle Larson down there in P17. Eric Jones's number will get fixed as well within the next episode or 2. I was originally planned to do it this episode, but ran out of time. But Ryan Preece and Daniel Suarez are on the front row for this race. Preece, his first season in that 21 car, his first chance on a decent ride, and here he is putting himself on pole at the short track here at Phoenix Raceway. At the very back, we got BJ McLeod rounding out the field here with John Hunter Nemechek joining him on that last row. I accidentally skipped the pre-racing right here, as you'll see. Basically, I have a problem with my A button sticking on my wheel, and it was kind of stuck, and it skipped the pre-race. So we were now underway though here at Phoenix Raceway for the start of this race. One driver did get sent to the back, but I did not catch who it was because I didn't get to see the pre-race thing. But we're underway here as we go down into turns 1 with Ryan Preece, Daniel Suarez on that front row now as we come through out of turns 2. You got Ross Chastain up here in the mix. Chastain picked up his first career Cup Series victory last season in the second to last race of the season at Martinsville Speedway, and he started off this season quite a bit better as well so far. So there's definitely some speed in that 42 car, and I haven't even touched Ross Chastain's rating, and here he is all of a sudden really picking it up. So it's really interesting to see how that unfolds now as we go down into turns 1 alongside Derek Kraus in that 95, who will be going to that second 2311 car next season in the number 45. As you guys know, that 95 will be completely gone from the career mode next season. Levine Family Racing will be gone, and basically that will be the 45 car replacing it. Now as we go down into turns 3 there, I actually got into the back with the 14 of Chase Briscoe. We had Ryan Blaney now up my inside, Kyle Larson behind myself. Denny Hamlin actually would get on the inside. He would move past us, and I was struggling here on this outside lane. Blaney passed me, Hamlin, Zane Smith, Kyle Larson. They were all getting up my inside. Some contact actually with the 7 of Zane Smith. I should also mention real quick, I'm working on getting Denny Hamlin's offer pad paint scheme or whatever it is made for him soon here in this career mode, so he will have that as another secondary scheme to run now. As you saw, there was some contact actually between myself and the 96 of Brandon Jones there in his second season of the Cup Series. This is now as we come through, passing Chase Briscoe, getting up the inside of Daniel Suarez, who qualified second on the front row, but clearly was lacking a lot of speed here early on in this first stage. Unfortunate for Suarez now is if I ever start a Cup team here in the career mode, I'm really hoping we can do that next season. Daniel Suarez is a guy I'm looking at, as well as Anthony Alfredo is another driver I'm really looking at right now, as we would though start to get on the move here at the end of lap 6. We had made a move up the inside of Kyle Busch. We pass him for P14. We get to the back of the 95 of Derek Kraus. I thought about making a scheme for Kraus this season in the 95, but I knew going into it that was not going to be a car that would be in the career mode anymore after the season, so I really didn't bother now. So it still has the Christopher Bell paint scheme. But as we came through to lap 8, now Eric Almirola in the 43, he had run me down, so I actually moved over to the right and said, you know what, you can have the spot right now, because he was definitely faster than me. But I would stay on the outside here. We actually had trouble at the end of lap 8. It's Daniel Suarez who's blowing up. Everybody's checking up. Suarez blows an engine, has huge damage on the front end of the car. No caution comes out, so all of a sudden I go from trying to let Eric Almirola go by on my inside to now being up inside the top 10 on the inside of the number 10 of Matt DiBenedetto there in that Smithfield Ford Mustang here. So we would settle in for a minute here in P9, and then we would get up the inside of Tyler Reddick, who had gotten passed now by Matt DiBenedetto. So we were trying to get up into that 8th spot as Zane Smith. He was also up in the mix here as we come through, cutting that dog leg just a little bit now as we're closing in towards the final handful of laps here in the first stage of the Fan Shield 500 now, as we're still up the inside of the 8 of Reddick as we exit turns 2. This should be where we can clear him right here down the back straightaway. He's going to hang on our right rear quarter panel, but not enough there from that 8 car, so we clear him into turns 3 and move up into that 8th position now in front of Zane Smith, who's having a very solid run so far here in his second season of his Cup Series career. His rookie season wasn't the prettiest, missed the playoffs, definitely showed some signs and potential speed, but definitely could not keep it together throughout the whole season. So hopefully we can see a bit of a change this season for that McLaren driver now as we go down into turns 1. At this point there was only a few laps left in stage 1, so we came through to the final lap. Ryan Preece had like a 4 to 5 second lead on the second place car here. He was dominating stage 1. So Preece really in position to potentially get that first career win today, unless something sets him back now as we go down this back straightaway here for the final time in this first and opening stage in the Fan Shield 500. It's going to be a top 10 for us now as you see Zane Smith under pressure from William Byron in that 88 car. Eric Almirola just behind him, but we come through to cross the line here to finish stage 1 in that 8th position as William Byron rounds out the top 10. So a strong result there from Byron, and unfortunately we were the only legitimate Hendrick car in the top 10. Of course, Byron an affiliate there in that 10th spot, but you see Ryan Preece with the stage victory, Kevin Harvick second, a track that he's very well known to be good at now, as Bubba Wallace rounds out the top 3 and Blaney rounds out the top 5, as that would take 2 cans of fuel as well as 4 fresh tires here for the pit lane. Alright boys, that was a pretty good first stage. I don't know if we honestly had a top 10 car there, but with Suarez kind of holding up everybody with that engine failure, it really helped us. So we'll see what we can do here for stage 2. Now you heard myself on the radio now as we're going to get ready to go green for the start of the second stage, where we gained 1 spot on the pit lane there as we move up into P7 behind that number 12 of Ryan Blaney now. And of course, for the start of the second stage now that it is underway, we're going to go through into the AMP segment. restarted in the 7th position there to start stage 2. We now move up into P6 there on that restart as we go down into turns 1. Up ahead, you see Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, and then Bubba Wallace up there in 2nd place, but Ryan Preece continues to lead the way. We come through now to lap 5 of the 2nd stage, and William Byron, I actually end up letting him go because he ran me down with absolutely no problems at all here, so I clearly realized he was quite a bit faster than me at this point, so I let him go by on that inside there. I said, you can have it, and we'll settle in here for a moment in that 7th spot. But then I realized Noah Gragson had a lot more speed than myself as well at this point. I was losing ground to the cars ahead, so I said, you know what, Noah, you can go by on the inside as well. Gragson, I think, has been one of the most consistent drivers so far in the Cup Series career mode that hasn't picked up a victory. He was very good last season, made it to the playoffs, nearly made it into the round of 8, but of course got eliminated at the Charlotte Roval after he went into that race above the cut line. So definitely watch out for Noah Gragson this season as well. I think he's going to pick up a victory at some point here as we go down into turn 3, dropping down into that 8th spot behind him now as we came through to 16 laps to go now in stage 2, still running in the 8th spot, but then the caution actually comes out here, closing in towards that midway point of the stage, and nobody will be coming to the pit lane, so we'll all be staying out and getting ready to go back green from the 8th position on the outside lane. Ryan Preece, Bubba Wallace, Ryan Blaney still round out your top 3 here at Phoenix, as it looks like Eric Jones potentially has brought out the caution. As you see, Sheldon Creed's actually 5 laps down, the rookie in the 37 car out for the day here in Phoenix. A DNF for him, very unfortunate for that rookie. I've mentioned a few times that Sheldon Creed will actually be splitting up seat time in that car with other drivers here in the career mode. You're going to most notably notice Kevin Magnussen is going to be hopping on that JTG 37 car for the road courses. So he's going to be in that car about 3 times this season here at the Charlotte Roval, Sonoma Raceway, as well as Watkins Glen. So it'll be very fascinating to see what Magnussen is able to do in that 37 car. Now as we get back though underway here down this back straightaway, 13 laps to go in the 2nd stage. I have to kind of check up there to make sure I don't run into the back of my affiliate teammate of William Byron now as we come through out of turns 4, and now we have our actual teammate Kyle Larson up by inside there as we come through to cross the line. He's trying to get himself up into the top 10 spot with 12 laps to go in the stage, and immediately you look ahead and see Preece driving away. There's some contact with Larson. Harrison Burton took us 3 wide kind of unexpectedly there, so we now drift back down into P11 and look to the right hand side of that 19 of Burton, who's getting a little bit aggressive here, and he does it again. He makes it 3 wide with now the 8 and the 88. I'm going to try and look to the outside of Tyler Reddick there in that 8 car. Another strong run so far today for Tyler Reddick as well here as we come through to the final 11 laps now of stage 2, and we're going to try and get that spot on Reddick and clear him and hold on to a top 10 position. And we get a really good run here through the center of the corner and out of turns 2. Sure enough, we clear Tyler Reddick and hold on to that 8th position. And then we came through now to lap 19, 7 laps to go in stage 2, and Bubba Wallace had fallen down the order a little bit. He was running up in the top 2, top 3 earlier. Now here he is in P9, and he would leave the door wide open for myself to get to the outside, and me and Bubba had a very lengthy battle here towards the end of this stage now as we came through to 5 laps to go, and we're still going side by side here with myself on the outside, Bubba on the inside as we dive down into turns 1. Ryan Preece, once again, long gone from the field. He's already going down the back straightaways. We're just coming out of turns 2, but Bubba still up my inside. I did clear him for a brief moment of time here as I go down the back into turns 3, and I was out to the right-hand side of the 88, but Bubba would be able to get back to my inside within no time here as we go down into turns 1 on lap 22, and now I go up the inside of the 1 of Gragson, kind of catching him off guard, and we clear him, and now move up into P9 just behind that 23 of Bubba Wallace. And finally, on 3 laps to go in stage 2 into turns 1, I get up the inside this time of Bubba. There was definitely enough pace in the car to make that outside work, but I felt like there was just too much traffic on the outside, specifically in front of me. So now we were able to get to that inside though and complete the pass, but you might notice the tire light was on my screen now, and that was becoming an issue because I realized my right front tire is in really bad shape. So we come through to start the final lap now of stage 2. As I went down into turns 1, I was trying to completely ignore the tire situation, but I briefly bring it up and it says 1% on the right front tire. I knew going down the back straightaway, all of a sudden we're in trouble. Sure enough, there goes the right front tire. We blow a tire down the back straightaway into turns 3, and sure enough, the car does not want to turn, and we slide into into the outside wall, and we're going to throw away any stage points there, as the 1 of Gregson and the 23 of Bubba Wallace, they all go by, and we come through to cross the line now in P11 in stage 2. Thank goodness it was at least on the last lap, but this is going to be a bit of a setback because we have to come into the pit lane and repair the damage on the car, which is 6 seconds. Whenever you blow a tire in this game, it does actually do some damage to the car, even if you don't hit anything. So we, of course, have to come in and fix that as Ryan Preece, once again, wins stage 2 here in Phoenix, setting himself up very well for the start of this final stage. I'm sorry, guys. I tried to manage that tire, but of course I didn't do a pretty good job, as you can tell. I'm sorry, but hopefully we can rebound from that. There you heard myself on the radio, just kind of apologizing to the team. Made a mistake there, but now we get ready to go green here for the start of the third and final stage. We give up 11 positions on the pit lane because of the damage that we had to fix, and then put 4 tires on the car and 2 cans of fuel now, as the third and final stage, though, is underway here at Phoenix Raceway for the Fan Shield 500. So 29 laps remain here. So we got enough time to try and work our way forwards, as the 43 of Eric Almirola took the lead. Ryan Preece had a poor pit stop and lost the lead, and now I can see at the very front of the field, he's actually 3 wide in the middle. So this is exactly what Preece was terrified of having happen to him here, as I get down in front of that number 82 of Casey Kane in that new Red Bull Racing team behind the 33 of Austin Cindric. But the 21 of Ryan Preece fell down to about 5th or 6th on this restart in these opening few laps of stage 3. So all of a sudden, the dominant car is stuck in traffic, and it's going to be interesting to see if he can work his way through the traffic, as Kevin Harvick now leads the way here at Phoenix Raceway in his final season over Denny Hamlin. You got Bubba Wallace up in front of the 21 as well, and a couple others, I believe Ryan Blaney as well now, as we come through, clearing the number 5 of Kyle Larson as we exit turns 4, trying to move my way back forwards as quickly as I can, as you see me cutting down on that dog leg there as we come through to 27 to go. Now, as we had our arrival of Joey Logano on my outside, so I was being really careful with him. I was all the way off the track here. I was on the apron trying to make sure that the 22 did not run into me, and fortunately it worked out there as we come through to settle in, still only to P19 though. But now we would come through to lap 55, and Bowman was kind of falling off a little bit, so we get to the inside of our Hendrick Motorsports teammate down this back straightaway into turns 3. Every time I'm near this car, I get so happy, because I think that 48 car looks so good. Vixen did a great job with making that paint scheme as we continue to battle our teammate on the exit of turns 4, but clearly not a great day so far for Alex Bowman, who's struggling here trying to hang on to a top 20 position. Ryan Blaney had now taken the lead, by the way, at this point, over second place of Bubba Wallace now. So Bubba in a position to potentially go for a win here today now, and get that 2311 Racing's team their first win in the Cup Series. This is their 3rd season now in the career mode, if you guys remember. Now, as I continue to try and work my way up the inside of the 22 of Joey Logano. He was kind of holding me up a little bit. I was, of course, being very cautious around the 22, but I cut the dog leg and managed to get clear of him as we go down into turns 1. I was very scared he was going to get to me right here. I leave the door open for him to make sure he doesn't run into the back of me, and now we're 3 wide for a brief moment with him, as well as Zane Smith there in that McLaren. But fortunately, we stay clear of the 22 into turns 3, and we are now able to get away from Joey Logano as well, get up the inside of the number 8 of Tyler Reddick here as we come through down the dog leg, cutting it once again with 19 laps to go as we go into turns 1. This time, though, we are going to be able to clear that 8 of Tyler Reddick, and now move ourselves into P14 as the 22 of Logano nearly got to the back of me again and ran into me. But we would start making a bunch of time up. We had run down this next group of cars from 13th on to about 11th or so, and we passed Brad Keselowski, no problem whatsoever. And then we get to the outside of the 96 of Brandon Jones, pass him on the outside, and do the same thing to Kyle Busch. We pass all of those guys on the outside and move up into P11, and now we run down Chase Briscoe here. But of course, you can see in the top left corner, we're running out of time now, just over 10 laps to go at this point as we came through to lap 66, looking to that right hand side of the 14 of Briscoe as we exit turns 2. But either way, we move ourselves into the top 10, so overall a solid day is going to become here if we can finish off this race into the top 10 as we came through to lap 69. Nice at this point, the tire light had come on, and I realized we are not going to make it to the end on tires, but it is going to be very close on fuel. We have 9 laps to go and 8 laps of fuel. So the way I was looking at it, and just based off of past races here, I was expecting nobody to really be able to make it here and have to come into the pit lane within the next 5 to 6 laps or so. So I decided I was going to do everything I could here to make a pass on the 1 car of Noah Gragson and just push these tires as far as they can go before I come into the pit lane. With 7 laps to go in this race, very close it's going to be on timing now, as we're only going to have maybe 2 laps or 3 laps after the pit stop to do anything here. As we come through out of turns 2, we will now clear the 1 car of Gragson. My right rear tire tire was down to 9%, and I could have maybe pushed it one more lap at the maximum and have gone to 5 laps to go in this race, but you see it was at 5% on the right rear. So we come into the pit lane this very lap, 6 laps to go here in the Fan Shield 500, and we get onto the pit lane, a very easy call to make, and it was just half a can of fuel as well as right side tires, and that's all we need to get us to the end of this race, which is going to be a 4 or 5 lap dash at this point now, as the team does a good job on the pit lane, 8.1 seconds, and now we get back on our way, and really hope now, of course, no caution comes up, because we're down in P36, and we do have some other cars now starting to come in and start the pit cycle within the final handful of laps of this race here at Phoenix Raceway. Ryan Blaney, he was leading the way, but he was about to give up that lead here now as we came to the lap 75, approaching 3 laps to go here. We already do have 3 laps to go because we are a lap down, but the leader of Blaney, he comes into the pit lane, and he's going to give up the lead to the 96 of Brandon Jones, and surprisingly, Jones did not pit. We are now coming through to the final lap of this race because Brandon Jones stays out and a few others do as well. We come through to cross the line. All of a sudden, I realize now, as we just passed Kevin Harvick, that we're only in 23rd as we come through to start this final lap here in Phoenix. I expected, of course, this to still be 2 to go, but no, the 96 stays out and a bunch of others do as well, as we still have a bunch of cars right here on the pit lane now on this final lap at Phoenix Raceway as we go down into turn 3. Brandon Jones comes out of nowhere on strategy and wins in Phoenix Raceway as we come through out of turns 4, and it is going to be at the line P11 for us there in the Fan Shield 500. What in the world just happened? It was a very baffling finish. I didn't realize we were coming to the final lap until about the back straightaway before then, so it caught me way off guard, and then I see Brandon Jones winning the race. What a shock that is now as you see the finishing order on your screen. So Brandon Jones, that 96 team, makes a great call there. I guess they just saved enough fuel because I myself did not have enough fuel to get to the end. I'm sure if I would have saved within the final 10 laps or so, I could have actually made it, but it was the right rear tire that wasn't going to make it no matter what at that point. So now that puts our record after 4 races at only 2 top 10s, surprisingly, with Las Vegas and Auto Club back-to-back, but the Daytona 500, we were, what, P16, and today P11. There, as you see, Justin Haley with P34, rough day for him. Bowman ends up 6 laps down, so it looks like he DNF'd right towards the end of the race. As you see, we continue to extend our points lead over Denny Hamlin after a mediocre day, really, and we still actually got our points lead to go up, so it's days like that that really help us out now, but we will check out the point standings here in both Xfinity and Cup. I believe we do indeed have a truck race coming up in the next episode here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, another track that's going to be a lot of fun to drive. There is, you see, the playoff grid. Haley Deegan there up towards the top 10. Paul Menard has us currently in P7, so hopefully he can continue to have some strong runs here and get us towards the front of that grid and pick up that first win in the next episode. Atlanta, usually a really good track for us in the Truck Series and Xfinity Series. So excited for that one there as you see the playoff grid in the Cup Series. Bubba Wallace having a solid run right now in P6. Of course, we're up towards the top. Kyle Larson up there in the top 16, and Tyler Reddick as well. Chastain, Priest, DiBenedetto, Gregson, Zane Smith, the first 5 drivers out, all within close vicinity of getting into the playoffs. But just before we end it, I just want to say thank you to the Going Racing members of MJ, Aiden, James, Joseph 9001, RJ, Timothy A, Bubba Jr., Illinois Diecast, Devin Roth, NASCAR Collector 3, as well as Movement. And as I usually say, you guys help me out a lot, and I really do appreciate it, and I'm gonna have you guys on the car more often throughout the season for a few more races, I hope. But yeah, that'll do it for this episode. Thank you all for taking the time out of your day for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everybody.